Hey everyone, so this is the final video for chapter 1 that we're going to talk about in regards to these slides. As mentioned, please read through the anatomical terms section. There are 3 slideshows of anatomical terms you are responsible for. Not only that, but in the first week of lab, I suggest you guys check that out. It's in your lab manual as well, and you can use that to help you better understand the material before you take your first interim assessment. So read through slides and then do the lab practice. It'll help you out. Again, it's in your lab manual and it's in the syllabus. So I believe that's week 2. Just check that one out. This is just to pretty much give you an idea of what of some hints to help you better understand some of these anatomical terms. So if you feel comfortable, you can exit out of this video now. But here are some ways to look at it. Anatomical terms come from the anatomical position. If you don't look at the body through that lens, this is going to be a little annoying and confusing, right? So when in doubt, think about the anatomical position, and this is what it is. All right, it's an individual standing, facing forward, with both feet forward and both palms facing forward, and that's really important as well. And this is how we derive the anatomical terms. Okay, here are a ton of them already on the board. I mentioned a couple earlier, medial and lateral. Basically, my hint of information for you guys is just try to think of how to remember these terms. There's a few on here that are pretty straightforward. Some of them are a little more complicated. Example for me, medial was always pretty straightforward because it sounds like middle. Medial is middle, right? You can see it right here with the line. Lateral for me was fairly easy too. As you can tell from seeing me in this video, I used to work out a ton, and if that's pretty evident, right? Sarcasm, it's hard on the video. But the point is, working on your lats. Where the heck are those? Those are on the outermost part of your body, right? So lateral is towards the outside. Then it gets a little more dicey, a little more challenging. And then I can give you an example, right? Supinate versus pronate, right? Or supine versus prone. One way I remember prone was because my friends played Call of Duty all the time. Got to be in the prone position, right? Another way to think of it is pronate versus supinate, right? Think about your hands, right? There we go. Pronate versus supinate. So supination is when you move your hand so your palms are facing up. Pronation is when you turn your arm so that your hand is facing down. You can remember this any way you want, right? My ways sometimes go from straightforward, medial is middle, to kind of silly, right? Supinate, if you want to hold a bowl of soup, your palms got to be facing up, so turning upwards. If you want to be a pro basketball player, you have to dribble with your palms facing down, right? Sometimes it's a stretch like that. My point is, if you're going to go in and just memorize the terms, if you could do that, it's pretty impressive, not going to lie. Just memorize them all and not remember it later on. But if you want to use these terms on the road, try to figure out ways to apply this to make better sense for you. What's going to help you understand it? You don't have to use the ways I came up with it. Think of it for you. What's going to help you best understand these terms? With that said, you're responsible for the anatomical planes and so on and so forth. Here are a couple of the planes. You got the sagittal plane right down the middle, right? If you're familiar with the sagittal suture, or maybe now you are, it's one that runs right down the middle. Get an angle here, right down the middle, sagittal. I think next is frontal, right? This separates the front from the back, right? And I think the last one's transverse. Transverse cuts through the middle. So these are just some of the terms. And again, there's 3 more slideshows for you to check out. And I hope that if you have any questions, just let me know. I can try to give you some more tidbits of information to help you better remember them. And we can talk about them in lab together. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And if you're still listening, take your time with this. You're not expected to learn all of it like that. Okay, just take your time and be consistent.